Welcome back, you anxious gamers. We got another awesome game-filled episode for you guys this week. We are your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Josh.
All right, we're going to kick things off like usual with some gaming news, what we are currently playing this week, and our main topic, our top 5 video games of all time, with some honorable mentions. So, Tears of the Kingdom. News topic. 18 more days. 18 more days. I got my copy pre-ordered today digitally.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah. And we got to talk about this new trailer, the You Can Do That trailer.
Yeah. It was short but sweet, and the acting is always just so terrible of the people they get in there actually playing the games.
Yeah.
And the funniest part to me was, I think I'd read somewhere behind the scenes, is they're not actually allowed to have the game on the Switch, so they just have a blank Switch that they then
interesting.
they superimpose the footage over. So all these people are reacting to nothing, which you can tell.
Yeah. No, now that you say it, I'm thinking back to the trailer and I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, thankfully it's not as bad as the Wii U marketing or like the Wii U commercials, you know. But yeah. I'm excited. I mean, we got to see a couple new things in the trailer, a little bit extra gameplay. It looks good. It just makes me even more excited for the game.
Yeah, we saw a new enemy that we hadn't seen before. What was it? I just said the name a few minutes ago. Zolok or
something.
Zorlok, something like that.
Something
the three-headed
like that,
dragon from the original Zelda.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be cool.
Which really, I don't know. I feel like that gives a little bit more of a hint toward traditional dungeons too.
I really do think there has to be some form of dungeons. Weapon durability and lack of dungeons were like the two biggest complaints with Breath of the Wild. So I hope there are dungeons with good soundtracks in them. Recognizable soundtrack.
That's something that I'm hoping happens this time around. Not that I didn't love the music from Breath of the Wild, but all of the other games have such segmented, recognizable music. And a lot of the music for Breath of the Wild kind of blends together for me. And I think that was on purpose. I think they did that specifically so that it did kind of all feel natural and it kind of like flowed together. But
you got a point, yeah, because like we talked about in our favorite Zelda games episode, like the whole atmospheric vibe of 100 years defeat, it's like soft, gentle, beautiful music. But I think what bothered me the most about the soundtrack, which I love the soundtrack, it was all piano. Like every little thing was piano. So like when you rode your horse, it was piano. When you're in the field, it's piano. Like certain things, it was just like a little too much. And I'm like, I want to hear like some drums and like some strings. And come on, give me a corny ocarina in the background. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
beautiful. You can whistle for the next soundtrack.
Hit me up, Nintendo.
Yes.
I can only whistle inward. I can't whistle out. So it's gonna be this weird. Yeah, it's gonna be this weird backwards whistling. Yeah, I'm really excited though. The closer we get, the more excited I'm getting. Because up until that third trailer and the gameplay demo, I was just kind of mad on the whole thing. But I'm starting to get hyped up, and now I'm looking at my time off accrual to see how things are looking. Like if I need to take a couple days off for this.
I've told my students, I'm like, if you don't see me May 12th, have a great weekend. I have the flu. Then part of the reason why I did the digital pre-order is like, I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna wait till it's midnight here, and I am hopping on that game. So because nobody around here is doing a midnight release.
Oh, are they not?
Well, GameStop's doing this whole like pre-order, you get a wooden plaque for the game or something like that. But like from what I know, where I'm at, like, they're not doing it. Which I would have done a physical copy. Like I would have drove up there and hung out and whatever.
Yeah.
Met some other Zelda peeps, but yeah. Anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about this game that looks very realistic.
It's got the whole internet talking. And I remember
Yeah.
seeing an early preview of this last year, but Unrecord,
Mm-hmm.
Unreal Engine 5, and this dude has managed some wizardry. And it's mostly, as far as I can tell, with my limited knowledge of Unreal Engine and just the stuff that I've done in there, it's the post-processing effects that he's done on the camera to make it look like it's being filmed with a body cam.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like that.
I saw the trailer a couple days ago at work, and I I think this is the first time where I'm like, oh my god, this is like real life in a game, you know? Like, yeah, you can throw movie clips in, you can throw whatever, some
Yeah.
stuff in, but this was crazy.
The fact that it had people like sitting down and analyzing it frame by frame to look for things clipping, or like they were trying to disprove that this was a game.
Mm-hmm.
And, they finally started to find some stuff, but then they found like all the assets this guy used, like on the
Yeah.
marketplace. Yeah, it was just like the way that the motion happens and the lighting and just everything about it was so good. And I had forgotten all about it until it started popping up again recently. And now he's added a lot more, like the dialogue options and all of that. And then in the original version, when somebody got shot, there was like this weird pink mist that would just kind of hover around in the air. And it looks like he's reined all that in. So now it's even more realistic thanks to all of his feedback.
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. Like I felt like I was like a legit officer or something, like the body came.
This is the
like,
first game that's going to give people like legitimate PTSD.
yes. Well, that game looks awesome. I'm super excited to check it out. I know you're going to be all over it. So,
Oh yeah. I'm just waiting for like a demo to come out so I can just see if my computer's going to catch on fire.
yeah. It's going to have the Crysis effect. It's just going to melt.
Which, speaking of, do you have this on your news list?
No.
Crytek just put out job postings for Crysis 4
Yes, so Crysis
to work on the
4,
engine.
It was announced last year. So like they mentioned that they were going to make a Crysis 4, which I'm super excited. I love the Crysis games. I've played all of them. I played recently the remastered trilogy. Have you played the Crysis games?
I've played the first two.
The first two.
Never did play Crysis 3. And the first Crysis, I had to wait a long time for that one to come to consoles.
Because it legit melted people's PC.
Yeah, like it was
so graphically enhanced.
built for the future for some reason.
Yeah. My favorite's Crysis 2. That was the first one I played, and then like you, I played Crysis 1 on console and Crysis 3. I had them all PlayStation 3. I think I had PlayStation 3.
Nice.
I picked up the remastered trilogy on the Switch. The Crysis
How's it
games
run
are
on there?
the Switch. Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, PlayStation, Xbox run a little bit smoother and better, but Crytek did a really good job porting those games over. And like it was really cool because they did kind of like one-on-one interviews and showed like development of the game on Switch. And they're like, we're really taking our time. We really want it on here. And all the memes were great. Like there were so many memes of like Switch is melting, and like getting stuck together. And they're like, I can't wait for my Switch to like melt, in my hands.
Yeah.
But I love those games. And I just love like Cloak Engaged or Maximum Armor. So cool.
I'm just because the job listings were for the engine specifically. Like I think it was, if I remember right, it was like lead AI engineer and stuff like that. But I thought I saw something about it being specifically for the newest version of CryEngine.
Yeah. Which
So
I'm
be
really
crazy.
curious. Like I know Crysis uses CryEngine. What other games use CryEngine? Is it
I think
only
I think it was
Crysis?
built for Crysis.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
it was
100% on
built-
that, but it's kind of like
Let
the
us know
RE
in the
engine.
comments, you little game engineering anxious gamers. You leave us a
Nerds.
comment. Yeah,
I'm right there with you. No, I think it's kind of like the RE engine, where like it was developed and built specifically for Resident Evil.
Which they did use the RE engine for Monster Hunter Rise, which was super cool.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, they used it for that, and then I think I'd have to double check and see, but I think Capcom's using it for other games out because I mean the Resident Evil engine is awesome. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's gotten
It's
really
really
good.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
All
exciting
right.
news.
Well, Miyamoto teases possibly more Nintendo movies according to Nintendo Life. I would love to still see a continuation of Mario movies.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know how I feel on a Zelda movie.
I don't know
I
how they would do it with the
yeah,
silent protagonists.
I was all for the whole like Tom Holland being Link rumor Zelda Netflix series, like a live action Zelda Netflix series. I would be okay with that, or an animated one. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the content creators on YouTube that do animation have made so many cool videos of like Breath of the
Oh,
Wild.
there was that Majora's Mask. It's like
Oh,
CGI
dude, that's
animation
the
that went
best
around for a
one.
while.
God, that was
Yeah.
so cool. Man, if I don't really care if they like, I know they did 3DS versions of Ocarina of Majora's, which were like kind of slight remakes a little bit. But I
Yeah.
would like I would replay Majora's. I would take back what I said about Majora's if they made it like that. Yeah, because that was so cool. I watched
Yeah.
that at least once a year, once or twice a year.
And I
Yeah.
like watching the progress of that guy that is like remaking it in Unreal. But there's
Yes.
just and he's doing a great job. Like I'm sure he's
Mhm.
learned so much and it's really awesome just what he's been able to do
Oh
by
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
But I don't know, the aesthetic is still missing a little bit. And so
Mhm.
I would love for Nintendo to do the remake cuz I don't know, I feel like we would get probably something closer to Twilight Princess but an updated version.
So first, Nintendo would crush this guy and sue him and
I'm
ban him,
surprised they haven't,
and
honestly.
then they'll be like, "We're remaking Ocarina of Time
Yeah, they're just going to
and
wait for him to get
Nintendo Engine
they're going to wait for him
5."
to get like almost done with it. And then
Yeah,
they're going to send him a cease and desist. They just want to see what all he's going to come up with first.
that's
I feel like that's why
horrible.
they wait
Yeah.
so long to send like
Mhm.
cease and desists.
I love the progress though. Like every month, I'm like, "All right, like what's new? You know, what
Yeah.
has this guy done?" And we'll have to leave him or leave his a link down below.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really cool if any of
yeah,
you haven't seen it or if you're listening, check out our YouTube description and we'll put a link to one of his videos.
it's
Because most
very cool
recently he
stuff.
did the bottom of the well,
Yes.
and it
Oh,
is
dude,
spooky.
so spooky. I forgot. Like I mean, this is going to be in our main topic, but I replay a certain particular Zelda game. You know which one I'm talking about. Every year, and I forget how creepy like the bottom of the well in the Shadow Temple is. Like
Yeah, man,
it's dark, dude.
very.
Yeah, very dark.
But
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, I think, mentioned something, joking
Mhm.
about the NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
And one of
okay.
the
Yeah.
interviews right after, then he kind of like, he had this kind of look like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely setting it up for we're going to be sick of it by the time they're done in about 10, 15 years.
I would love to see Nintendo's take on a Metroid movie and make it like Alien or something, or
Oh, man.
like a horror movie. I think
Like
Metroid
make it a
would
little more
be.
gritty.
I think Metroid would be the perfect game series for like an anime, like a Nintendo Netflix anime or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I would love to see that because I mean Metroid's creepy. I mean, and Metroid drew inspiration from Alien. I mean, it's based off of Alien, pretty
I'm just
much.
waiting for them to lead up to the equivalent of what was the Avengers one of the big one right after Age of Ultron, Endgame.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
waiting for whatever the Nintendo equivalent of Endgame is, and it's Smash Brothers, and you have all the characters across all the universes coming together to fight each
Yeah.
other.
I know, and that makes sense because everybody, like Sakurai, the creator of Smash Bros, they all were like, "This is it. This is his last game." Like he was. I don't know if you know this. He had to get an IV, like after, like in. I think it was in his office booth or his cubicle, or like when he was done. He was so deprived of Smash Ultimate that he had to like get fluids pumped in him.
Wow.
because he was
Like while
this
working on it,
guy
he was just like
worked
so dedicated to
day.
it.
Oh yeah, he worked day
Man.
and night. But the rumor is he started a YouTube channel actually talking about game development. I follow it. We'll have to leave a link to that as well. It's really cool. It's like 3-4 minute long videos about how he did this, or what you need to focus on for like game
Yeah.
engineers and stuff. Um, but there was a rumor. He's like, I'm always working on something, and there were a lot of like Kid Icarus,
Mm.
rumors coming out. So I would love a new Kid Icarus game. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be a fun throwback.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Uh, PlayStation. We're gonna like leave Nintendo in the dirt for a bit. Acquires a new game studio, Firewalk Studios. It's a Firewalk Studios is a company based of Bungie developers. I think like some Call of Duty developers as well. So you know what I'm
All right.
hinting at is PlayStation has been throwing a very big fit over the whole Activision Blizzard buyout
Right.
because of Call of Duty. And
Yep.
Microsoft was like, hey, we'll support, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch with Call of Duty for like next 7-10 years. But after that, we
Oh,
don't know, right?
right. Yeah, this is their insurance for sure.
Yeah.
This is the backup plan.
So, like, yeah, PlayStation is apparently Firewalk Studios is working on like another army multiplayer, whatever COD
It
competitor, which like,
honestly, it will. No, I mean, I understand. Like, we're kind of sick of it. It's the same thing
yeah,
every year. It's the equivalent of like FIFA or Madden.
hmm
But new competition coming in, especially on the scale of PlayStation, and
hmm
because are they being considered a first party studio
I
since
think
they
so.
are bought by
Yeah,
PlayStation?
I
Just
possibly yeah.
the financial and creative freedom that PlayStation gives its studios.
hmm
Like, it's going to be nice to have something new to
Yeah.
compete with Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Well, speaking on this note, Joe Staten, what I talked about
Mhm.
last episode about
Yeah,
him
him
leaving
leaving.
Microsoft. So, for those of you that don't know, Joe Staten is an original developer of Halo. Literally after our episode last week, when we wrapped it up, I got a notification that he joined Netflix Games,
Which
and
is crazy. I
he's
didn't even know Netflix had like a
yeah,
full-on gaming division,
yes.
especially one big
So
enough to pull
mhm.
the latest director of the
So
Halo
everybody's
series.
like excited now. They're like, okay, is he going to make like a Halo competitor? Which like I don't know, but I am, because he said he did want it to be like multi-plat or
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm really curious to see what he's working on. So like, yeah, PlayStation may make a really cool army military shooter to compete with COD. Um, Me
I welcome
personally,
it.
I fell off the Call of Duty train a long time ago. Like, I like Call of Duty, but it got to the point where it was like every year there was a
Hmm.
new one, and it
Yeah,
just got like worse and worse and worse.
I just
So,
about buy every other game and then I binge it for like a month and a half. Like,
mhm.
because I actually really enjoy the single player campaign.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
main reason that I buy Call of Duty,
hmm
which is like the opposite of everyone else. But
it is still fun to like hop online here and there, like, or
yeah,
like if me and you just wanted to play, like it is still fun. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
dude,
So I'll do the
I'm
campaign and then I'll do multiplayer
mhm.
for like a month and a half,
Yeah.
and then I get burnt out and I uninstall and then free up almost 300 gigs on my PC.
But the best versions of Call of Duty are the Nintendo DS and the Wii. No, I'm kidding. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. The Wii
The
U
Wii
version of
version,
yeah, the Wii U version of Black Ops 2 was actually like really cool to be taking a dump while playing Call of Duty on your gamepad.
nice,
Yeah.
nice,
So
classy.
I didn't do that. My roommate did that with
Oh,
my Wii
okay, yeah,
U.
yeah, your
But
friend,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Thank God for Clorox wipes. So yeah, I have a couple game releases coming out. Do you have any other like big news?
I just have
Or
an interesting tidbit going a little bit back to the Mario movies. Um,
yes,
I was watching. Do you ever watch a YouTube channel called Corridor Crew?
no.
Okay, so
Explain.
it's gotten fairly popular, but it's a like CG visual effects agency, and they have a YouTube channel where they kind of break down visual effects in movies. Like they'll go through, like the episode I watched today was Born Ultimatum, the
Mhm.
old Mario movie, the new Mario movie,
Oh, okay.
and then I can't remember. There was one other movie. Anyways, I learned some really interesting facts about the 1993 Mario movie.
All right,
So,
lay it on us.
so at the time, they actually, did you know that that movie got nominated for a visual effects Oscar?
Did it really?
Yeah. Because at the time, the only company that could scan film and digitize it was ILM, LucasArts, effectively.
Okay, yeah.
And they filmed Mario, and they're like, we need a bunch of digital effects. And I think it was either something about ILM wouldn't touch it, or didn't want to do it, or didn't have the time, or whatever it was. And one of the standards in filmmaking now is called Cineon, which is a digital conversion. The Mario movie was the first one to use it.
Interesting. Yeah.
So they were the first ones to digitize their film using Cineon.
Wow.
And then they realized that like the footage was all kind of this weird grayish color. And there's something in filmmaking called a lookup table. Like I use them when we edit, some of our footage, because I shoot mine in logarithmic. So mine comes out this kind of grayish color. And it's called a lookup table, and apparently it was invented by the Mario movie.
Oh my God.
And it's like an industry standard now. And then the other thing was there's a certain it was kind of an early compositing software, and guess which movie was the first one to use it?
Mario.
So it was like apparently the 1993 Mario movie is responsible for like a huge swath of like cinema standards today.
Dude, Nintendo and their innovation, right?
It's crazy. It was just like, I was like, how does nobody know about this? And I had no idea that it was even like in the running for, it was either an Oscar or some other type of award. It may not have been an Oscar, but no, it was an Oscar because it got beat out by Jurassic Park.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So shout out to Corridor Crew for that fun fact.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. That's really, really sweet, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Couple game releases. So Nintendo had an Indie World Direct presentation while I was visiting Arkansas, and I saw that Blasphemous 2 is going to be coming out this summer. Did you ever play Blasphemous?
I did not.
Okay, it's like a 2D Dark Souls / Castlevania game.
I've seen it on the store a few times. It's usually under bestsellers.
Oh, dude, it's a phenomenal 2D platformer Metroidvania-esque game, Souls-like game. Really kick butt. Soundtrack. It's like, it's the whole like Catholic, dark goth era Spanish guitar.
Nice.
It's just very cool. So I'm very excited about that. Also, there's a game coming out tomorrow, the 25th, called Trinity Trigger. Have you seen that?
Nope.
It is a top-down JRPG hack-and-slash game. And I have a description here. Step into the world of Trinity Trigger, an all-new action role-playing game combining the look and feel of iconic RPGs of the 90s with a modern emphasis on fast-paced, customizable combat. It's a developer called Xseed. Yeah.
So is it like a top-down 2D like Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy, but with like action
hack and
fighting?
Slash? Yeah. So it would be more like Secret of Mana, I assume.
Yeah.
And, so I'm really excited about it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have for news. Anything else? You ready to move on to what we're currently playing?
Yeah.
All right. What are you playing this week?
I am still playing Oracle of Ages. Got
How
a little
far
bit
are you?
further. I've got 2 or 3 of the Essences of Time. So I'm a little ways in. And it's slowly all starting to come back to me. Mm-hmm. And then we found out, this is cool. So I've been playing Resident Evil 4 again.
Yeah.
Because after I left my brother-in-law's house, a few weeks ago, I was like, I'll save it for next time you come over. Like we just, we're going to play it together. And then I realized, I was like, well, there's share play. Like, I wonder if it works cross, because he has a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And then, so we were like, I was like, just hop on, let's try this. So the past couple of nights, we've been throwing on our headsets, and then I'll give him control for a while, and I'll take control, and you can stream it from the PS5 to his PS4, 3 hours away, and so we can
So
still play
you don't
together
feel
like we're
as
on the
scared.
couch.
Yeah.
And because I'm a huge coward. But also, I mean, it's just fun to play, with somebody. Because my favorite Resident Evils are still all the co-op ones.
Well, that's awesome, man. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And then Breath of the Wild, still just kind of me and my son are playing through that slowly. But we're getting there.
I started a new profile on or I made a new profile just to replay it because I want to keep my original file, all the hard work I put into that.
Your 100% file?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. I was wanting to do a quick playthrough of it just to get ready for Tears of the Kingdom, but I just get so drawn into the world. It's like I got to collect everything. I got to do this, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till Tears of the Kingdom because there's no way I can beat this in 18 days by just hauling through it.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's not a small game.
It's not. And what's crazy is you can play it fast if you want. It's like, okay, yeah, I could go whatever, do some shrines, get the Master Sword, knock out the Divine Beast, memories, boom, fight Ganon. But it's like, I want to climb this. I want to go here. And it's so funny.
I don't remember what's over there.
What? How long has it been out? 6 years, 7 years now?
2016? No. Yeah. Did the Switch release in 2016?
Yeah, so 7 years. Yeah. And I still want to climb everything.
Everything, yeah.
Do that. So.
When you come out the cave of resurrection, and you turn around and see a little cliff, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna go see what's up there.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that. Anything else you've been playing?
Yes, actually. So my son's in T-ball. I've been trying to teach him rules. So one of the current Humble bundles is a family game night bundle or whatever. But it had a Little League World Series 2022, and it's this super janky baseball game. It reminds me of, do you remember Backyard Baseball?
Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of that without any of the fun. And the computer is ridiculously hard.
Okay.
I was trying to figure it out myself before I brought him in to play with me. And the controls on the PC are awful. It's like you have to constantly switch back and forth between arrow keys and WASD. And so finally I hooked up the PS5 controller, and it's better. But the other team will smoke you. And I can't find anything about difficulties. So
is he getting devastated?
He played for a few minutes. He was like, "This is fun," and then he got up and left. And I was like, "That's it? You're done playing?" He was like, "Yeah, that was fun." And I was like,
"This sucks."
Right? I was like, "I'm trying to teach you the rules here."
Yeah.
So, not great.
Yeah. I booted up some Final Fantasy this week.
Which one?
So I did get the Pixel Remaster. Well, I didn't get the collection. You can buy each game individually. So I purchased Final Fantasy IV, which is technically 2. Love that game, and it's bringing back so many memories. It looks beautiful. I'm so glad that these are finally on console. It's been years.
Yeah.
They were all mobile only or whatever. And then I also busted out Final Fantasy Crysis Core.
Ooh, nice.
Because they just recently remade that one last year, and I dabbled in it a bit, but now I'm actually going through it. So some classic Final Fantasy there for you Final Fantasy fans.
Good choice.
Yeah. And
with this cold weather that came through.
Yeah, I know. I love playing RPGs when it gets dreary,
Yeah, when it gets dreary for me, I think the game I've had my eye on. Did you ever play My Time in Portia?
I have seen that. I haven't played it though.
It's from a Chinese developer, so some of the translations are a little janky. And the first one, the combat's terrible, but I don't know what it is, but I love those games. So I have My Time as Sandrock also, which was the sequel, much better. They did a lot better on. They rebuilt it from the ground up. Dialogue is better. Combat's better. But now that it's gotten a little colder again, I've been eyeing that one to just kind of sit and play. It's very relaxing. It's like Animal Crossing-esque. 3D Stardew Valley, I would say.
trying to think. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I feel like I know what you're talking about though.
It's on Switch.
Yeah, because I've seen it on the eShop before and stuff. So
It took me a couple tries to really get into it, but I recommend it. It's a nice, relaxing game.
yeah.
It's not one of those ones that you get like huge penalties if you don't rush. Like Stardew, if you don't like make sure you have one of every crop by the end of the first year, then you have to wait like a whole another year to fill up the community center or whatever. I feel like it's a lot slower paced.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Ultimate Alliance. Have you ever played those games? The Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and like X-Men Legends, the top-down, Diablo style Marvel games.
Yeah.
The third one is exclusive to Switch, and
Really?
I got it when it came out because it actually came out around my birthday. Loved it, and I just decided to pop it in because I saw the new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, and I'm like, you know what? I need to play catch up on my Marvel movies. So I've kind of been going back into that universe. But yeah, no, it's a fun game. I mean, I like all the Ultimate Alliance. I mean, there's only 3.
Nice.
But yeah, it's cool.
So not a game, but have you watched Honor Among Thieves?
No, I haven't.
Super fun movie.
Okay. Check that
So
out.
highly recommend the D&D movie. It had no right to be as good as it was.
Oh, that's the D&D movie. That's out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't know the name, but I've heard everybody's like, have you seen
Honor
the
Among
D&D
Thieves.
movie yet? And I'm like,
Dude, it's so good. I'm not going to say too much about it. I don't want to spoil it, but like it did not take itself seriously pretty much at all. It's not that whole like switching back and forth of players at a table, turning it into a movie. Like it's set in, the universe, and like it's cool them referencing locations, and they're like, they're showing maps, and you see like the Sword Coast, and you see like almost the whole movie takes place in Neverwinter City.
yeah.
And it's just their characters are great, and there's so many funny moments, and it had a lot of heart, a lot of action, adventure, and I don't know, it was way better than I expected it to be. So we watched that on Friday.
Man, well, I'm excited because we play D&D once a week, and one of the main guys that we're with, he in our campaign, he's like hardcore into D&D. Really great guy, and he's like, it was actually a good movie. So it's
There's
like, okay.
there's a lot of little like nods in there to the game specifically. Like they're referencing doing a spell where you can raise the dead and you can speak with them. And so in the rules, like you can raise them and you can ask them, it's either 3 or 5 questions, and then they go back to being lifeless, right? And so somebody's like, yeah, you can ask them 5 questions and then you can never speak to them again. And one of the other characters is like, that sounds a bit arbitrary. It's like, why only 5?
yeah, why only 5?
Yeah, just references like that's that's in the rule book. Rules as written.
Did you see Elijah Wood, Frodo of Lord of the Rings, did a live D&D session of Lord of the Rings?
No, I didn't.
A campaign. I would have to get some more information on it, but that was another really cool thing. D&D, man, it's making a...
I didn't think about it, but like I guess tabletop RPGs are, they're under the umbrella of games. So we're going to have to expand the podcast to include tidbits about our TTRPGs we're playing. I've got a work group that's about to start up. One of the guys tried to gauge interest, and like 13 of us raised our hands. So he was like, I'm not sure how to DM this. I may have to have 2 groups.
Yeah.
He's talking about doing it dueling groups. So there's
okay.
He's running 2 campaigns at the same time or one campaign, but 2 different groups of players that are against each other. So one evil, one good.
Nice. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's jump into our main topic. A very hard topic to think of.
It's so difficult. And I'm still not even sure what my answers are going to be. Like, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And like, as we're talking, things may end up getting shifted around.
I was feeling the same. I was reading my list with my wife, and she's like, "Oh my god, like you're just gonna change it next week." I'm like, I know, but this game. So
this is how it is on this specific week for this specific episode. We'll do this every year and see how they change.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. So our main topic, top 5 video games of all time. So I'm
Kick us
curious
off.
what your first pick
No, you
is.
go for it. Kick us off.
Well, I talked about this last episode. Ocarina of Time. It's my number one game.
I am shocked, I tell you.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was the first Zelda game I completed. It's very special to me, and I just have so many fond memories of it. I just love the story, the music. It's just that iconic nostalgia game.
Yeah.
And I go through it every year, once a year. I'm just like during the summer, I'm like, I want to play as young Link, and I'll get the Master Sword, and then like I'll take a break, and then in the fall, I'm like adult Link, and I do all like I beat the game in the
Nice.
fall, so I split it up every year.
That's good pacing. Yeah.
Yeah, but just it's kind of funny. Like I was like, I'm gonna replay Breath of the Wild before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, but then I'm like, I'm actually gonna replay Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
You know, so just love that game so much, and yeah, that's
Nice.
my number one
I am
out of 5.
totally, absolutely.
I know you're shaking right now. You're sweating. You're
I don't know what
oh
to
my
do.
God, my hands
It's
feel
throwing
like
me off.
spaghetti.
I was expecting it to be Corey in the House.
Oh yeah, where you were expecting it to be Okie Dokie Pokey, his revenge game. You know, like
So I'm gonna
escape through the window.
we're gonna make a 2D top down roguelite called Okie Dokie Pokey.
If any of you listeners are good at making clown music, please give us your information. All right, Josh,
so
what's yours?
I
Let's
promise
go.
this whole episode's not going to be a rehash of our top 5 Zelda games, but number 1 is the same number 1 as my top 5 Zelda, which is A Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
Same as you, like I play it at least once a year. That one I do more all in a row.
Okay.
It's a little bit shorter than Ocarina
I
of
need to
Time.
get with you because I still have a hard time like when you get the Master Sword, like still figuring out those dungeons to get the crystals or the maidens or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So next time I'm down, let's.
I feel like because we could run through that one in a day, the whole game.
Yeah, I think so.
And I feel like that one, the only reason I love it as much as I do is because I had historical knowledge from like my dad and my sister of watching them play it, of like and knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Because some of the ways you get into dungeons is really unintuitive. But yeah, the music, the graphics, I don't know, just
it's a beautiful game still.
I love starting off a new level. Just I don't know. It
When
always
did
makes me
it
happy.
when did it release? Because I think I saw it was the anniversary recently.
That was 1990. Was it 1?
I think so, yeah. 1990. I don't know. We'll have to
Here, let me
look
Google.
that one up. But yeah, no, A Link to the Past definitely just. All right, we're no more
1991.
Zelda. No,
Yeah.
even though like technically, our first pick in our top 5 is just any Zelda game can be at number 1.
That is true.
Right? That is true.
There's like a number 1 is actually like a 1 through 25.
Yeah,
So now number 2 starts at 26.
Yes. So my second favorite game of all time is Resident Evil 4.
Nice.
I won't go on a tangent on this because our first 3 episodes.
We have talked about this.
So much Resident Evil 4, but
This is that dead deer thing at the beginning of the
yes,
game.
yeah. Like
We have beaten it to death.
here we go, this anxious gamer talking about that
It's just
RE4
Zelda and Resident
again.
Evil 4. Do these guys talk about anything else?
But yeah, no, it was just a game that redefined a series, introduced the third-person mechanic. When it came out, it was just like mind-blowing, and I love the original, love the remake. So that's all I have to say about that game.
Nice.
Even though I could still talk about it
right
now, but I'm not going to. What's
All
your
right.
next pick?
I'm going to stop you there. All right. So my number 2 pick has to be Uncharted 4. I know that everybody says, 2's the best one. I like 2.
I've
2's
never played Uncharted.
good. Any of these Oh, dude. Do you like Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, you know.
Okay.
Kind of.
You like the Tomb Raider movies?
Don't don't do this to me. Angelina Jolie, man.
What about the newer ones?
Haven't seen the newer ones. I like the newer or like the reboot of the Tomb
It,
Raider games. But I won't
yeah.
ever touch the original Tomb Raider. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It does not hold up. Sorry,
Okay, so
guys.
you like the reboot of the Tomb Raider games?
Yeah.
You will love Uncharted
Okay.
because the reboot of the Tomb Raider games was going for what
I mean,
Uncharted did.
I've seen gameplay. I mean, I
Yeah.
know Uncharted, like I've seen it, but like I've never actually like played them.
Yeah, the first one's a little tough to get through. Just it's a lot of shooting, and
Mm-hmm.
it was not a great combat system. It's a little bit better in the remaster. Two is fantastic. All the set pieces, the storyline. But four, I personally just think had the best story. Graphics are fantastic.
Was that technically the last one?
No, well, I think it's supposed to be the last one with Nathan Drake.
Okay.
Definitely not the last Uncharted. They make too much money.
Okay.
But there also was a spin-off of four that used like the same engine, a lot of the same assets. Yeah, so it's not the last game for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in my number two spot. I love that game.
When did you get it when it released? Like what made it
Yeah,
like so special to be in your top?
I am a huge Indiana Jones fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a framed autographed picture of Harrison Ford on my wall over there. And like I'm not ashamed to say this. I kind of liked Crystal Skull. It's okay. I mean it fit the time period. There's some things a little weird. I get it. But there's nothing more unbelievable about Crystal Skull than there was about falling out of an airplane in an inflatable raft and surviving.
Yeah. This
Yeah. So anyways, that's a whole other tangent I can go off on. But I didn't have a PS3. So by the time that I played, like I binged 1 through 3 of the Uncharted's on PlayStation. What was it called at the time? I don't think it was PlayStation Now. It might have been. I think it was PlayStation Now.
I think it was PlayStation
When
now. Yeah,
when the
'cause that
streaming
was
service
yeah.
first came out, yeah. And so I played those over some sketchy internet, and still just had the most fun I'd had in so long. Like since I had watched Indiana Jones as a kid, just the humor, the wit, the character of Nate. In fact, fun fact, my younger son's middle name or his first name is Nate, and that's what he's named after.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know. Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah.
yeah. Which I mean, my wife
Cool.
picked the name originally, and then I agreed with it because I was like, yeah, no, Nathan Drake. All right, I'm good with it. That's why I agreed to it, I should say.
Yeah.
Not he's
Cool.
not named after him, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like to just the game. I mean, the gameplay is so tight. The story is great. The graphics are amazing. It's just these big spectacle set pieces, like bridges exploding and car chases and tanks chasing you. The first three have supernatural elements to them, but then it's just good old campy adventure fun.
Cool.
Yeah, so huge fan of that series. I'm really hoping to see more soon.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I'll have to give them a shot, just like Last of Us. You know. I
The
swear
Last
I'll
of Us
get
is
to
a
it.
lot. It's a lot scarier. Uncharted's a lot more fun.
Yeah. We'll
Than
take
The
a
Last of
vote
Us. It's
on
not near as
YouTube.
depressing either.
We'll do a vote. Which game should Chris play first? Last of Us or
Ooh.
Uncharted?
There you go. Yeah, we'll do a
Or-
YouTube poll.
Never play the no.
All right,
My
what's your
next pick,
number 3?
Number 3, the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Specifically, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage.
Yeah.
Ripto's Rage was the reason why I got a PlayStation 1 as a kid. I love platformers, and I saw Spyro, and I was like, oh my god. And I got it and instantly fell in love. And the Reignited trilogy came out, and I got it on Switch. But it's all 3 of the original Spyro trilogy games. So Spyro
Yeah.
1, Ripto's Rage, and You're the Dragon. just so beautifully done, man. Looks so
Nice.
good.
Yeah, I
And
haven't played the remake.
oh, it's so good. It's so smooth. So smooth and just like so nostalgic. And I love Spyro. I really hope that because Toys for Bob makes them now, which now Microsoft owns with this Activision buyout. So Microsoft now owns Crash and Spyro
Yeah, that just
that
feels like
were once
treason.
former PlayStation
Yeah,
mascots. So yeah,
man.
I'm really curious to see if there's a new game, or maybe they'll remake like what is it, Hero's Tale. What was the
Heroes Tale.
Spyro game? Oh my god, I cannot believe I'm forgetting this one. Enter the Dragonfly. Yeah, maybe
Oh
they'll like
yeah,
do those.
wasn't that was
Um,
an Xbox 360 game?
no, so Enter the Dragonfly and Hero's Tale were Xbox, PS2, and GameCube.
Okay,
And
so I'm
then,
too far
yeah,
forward. Okay.
Enter the Dragonfly was actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first Nintendo Spyro game. And then the
Nice.
Game Boy, they had Game Boy Advance games and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like the Wii, Xbox 360 got like, um, I mean, there were some other games afterwards, but it was like kind of a more Legend of Zelda esque take on Spyro. You can
Yeah.
let us know in the comments of the names. Like if I saw the covers, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's it. But yeah,
Nice.
so Spyro, got to throw some Spyro in there.
All right. Yeah, I remember playing the mess out of the first one on my PS1.
Yeah,
I had the one that was actually, well, it's behind me. The
and
white
Sparks, man.
PS1.
I just love it.
That
Yeah,
era of dialogue in games was my favorite.
yeah, it was
Um,
just so fun. And Moneybags, like freaking taking your gems all the time. Come
yeah.
on now, Moneybags. We're almost in another depression.
Right. Right. Nice. Yeah. All right. So my number 3 is Stardew Valley.
Yeah, you are a big Stardew Valley
I
fan.
have got so many hours in that game. I
Didn't
bought it
your
on.
wife play it too?
Oh yeah. We both did. We did when the multiplayer expansion came out. Oh, we played the mess out of that. I remember we spent because I believe we just had either the one kid or he wasn't. No, we did just have the one kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was with grandparents or something. But I remember the multiplayer game came out, and I bought it again, put it on her Mac, and then we sat in like my office, like on the floor. And I think we were in there for something like 14, 15 hours straight,
Oh my god,
just playing Stardew. Like it
those
was
are like my
nuts. And that
Halo
was,
days, man.
yeah. And yeah. And like by that point, we'd been married for, 4 or 5 years. So
Man,
it'd been a long time since we had done that. But I have bought
yeah.
Stardew on my phone, my Switch, my PS4, my computer twice, and then yeah, my wife's computer. So I think I've bought that game like 6 times.
Stardew Valley was funded by Anxious Gamers host Josh.
I'm sure I'm not the only one, but yeah, just
Yeah,
because Harvest Moon was one of my all-time
that's a
favorite
good game.
games growing up,
Yeah, yeah.
and the last one that I just enjoyed was on the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this huge gap where I tried playing them, but I just kept end up going back to the Super Nintendo or the N64.
Yeah, because weren't the newer ones like they just weren't as good?
It had wonky
Because didn't they
controls, the
just
dialogue
recently
was
release
terrible.
one? Like, didn't they have another one just come out
Yeah,
not
there's
too long
there's been
ago?
a few.
Yeah.
Because now they're trying to keep up with the demand for farming games, and they still. So what happened was it was Natsume was the developer of the original,
Mm-hmm.
and there was either a split or something, or the IP stayed with them, but the actual developers moved off, and they have a series of game called like My Story or My Life or something like that, or like Farming Story, or it's a really generic sounding name, but that's apparently the original developers.
Okay.
And I'm still not a huge fan of those games, but it's like Harvest Moon as a brand lost its way. There
Mm-hmm.
was no innovation. There was no, I don't know, almost no care put into it.
Well, and it's just hard because like then you get like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or
Well,
you
so
know
Stardew he started it off as a clone of he was just trying to learn game development. Concerned Ape was, and was just cloning Harvest Moon, and just it kept going. And he spent, I think it was 5 or 6 years on this. And
okay.
The rest is history. He did it all.
Wasn't there a Harvest Moon on N64?
Yep.
Yeah. How was that?
It had a weird isometric view that was terrible.
Okay, yeah. Because I saw it at a garage sale. Like actually, like as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, Harvest Moon, that's a cool sounding name."
It was kind of the weird type of N64 game where it was 3D, but really it was like an isometric 2D game. Okay. Like very few parts about it were actually 3D.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
what's up for number 4?
Number 4. Do you want an audio sample of what you think my number 4 game is?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. What do you think it is?
Well, considering I've been listening to your cover of the select screen for days now, Super Mario 64, which coincidentally Mario! Is also my number 4.
Oh,
so we'll just combine this here together.
You like grabbing Mario's nose and moving it around with the little...
So my favorite thing as a kid was to try to make it either as squished as possible or as stretched out as possible, like nothing in between, or as crooked as possible. You had to have that one.
Give him a scream look, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a very funny story with this one. So went to a flea market as a kid in good old East Texas. And
was it Canton?
No, it wasn't Canton. It was actually a Tyler flea market. Tyler had a Tyler Trades Day. So, I was like 7 or 8 at the time. Just finished Ocarina, and I had some money with me because there was a guy that would sell video games there, which majority of them were real. They weren't fake or whatever. Well, being a kid, I wanted to go on this little bounce house slide called the Titanic slide. And the Titanic slide is this giant slide, and you land in fake water or part of the slide. Basically, it's escaping the Titanic.
So is it
how horrible is that?
The actual
they
slide
just called it the sinking ship.
Yeah, does it look like half a ship?
It looks
going
like
into
half
the water?
The Titanic going in the water. So yeah, it's horrible.
Whose idea was this?
Well, it's an East Texan slide, blow up thing. We also had Titanic Day at our school. We had to dress up like some of the people that died.
That seems pretty morbid. How old were you when you had to do this?
I was like 7.
Nice.
7 or 8.
All right.
I also had really bad diarrhea that day. Yeah.
So hey kid, dress up as this guy that died tragically on a ocean liner.
Yeah. It was my dad has a photo of me. My mom made me this cool fake violin. I was one of the musicians that died.
Went down with the ship, huh?
Yeah, went down with the ship. So I'm climbing up this Titanic slide, right? And the redneck guy that's running it is spraying the slide with Pam cooking spray to make kids slide down it faster. So I'm at the top of this slide, and I haul down this thing. Well, you hit the water, which is the wall part. It's not real water to stop you. I go over that, and I land on my left arm. And we all thought I broke my arm. And so I'm freaking out, panic attack, all this stuff. So I'm walking around this ghetto flea market, sobbing, about falling off the Titanic slide. And we come across
somebody greased it with Pam cooking spray.
This guy literally was I thought maybe it was a spray for slides. No, it was Pam cooking spray. So that's how you know you're in East Texas. So I'm walking, I'm sobbing, and we come across the video game booth, and he had a copy of Mario 64, and I was like, oh, I want this game. And so that game made me feel better. It made me realize that my arm wasn't broken. and that was my first Mario experience.
The healing powers of Super Mario 64.
Yes. Oh man, but I mean,
broken hearts and broken arms.
Broken hearts. And I will go down with this shit. So, man, it's the first 3D Mario game. It still holds up. I mean, people speed run it all the time.
Yeah.
The music is, I literally bawled at the end credits, man. I mean, that music, it's just such a good game. What was your first experience with Mario 64?
So
hopefully not tragic like mine.
It didn't involve a vegetable oil slide that looks like
it didn't involve the Titanic. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Which you really did go down with the ship.
I went over the ship.
You were like that guy in the movie that falls and hits the propeller.
Yeah, and then I just hear Dire Dire Docks playing. Doo, 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 doo. Yeah.
Nice. I actually don't remember when I bought Super Mario 64.
Okay.
But I think one of my friends had it first, and then I bought it later. Because I feel like that's something I would have remembered. So I have to imagine it was the kid that lived across the street. They were a little wealthier than we were, so he usually had stuff first. With the exception of Ocarina of Time. But anyways, I remember booting that up because I had played Mario Paint. Mario was missing for whatever reason. We had that. Super Mario World, and then of course the original Mario. Those are some of my earliest gaming memories. And it was a very similar reaction to Ocarina of Time, where like I booted this up and I'm like, man, and the first time you get to do a triple jump.
Yeah.
And once I figured that out, I was like, this is just a whole new thing here.
Mm-hmm. I feel like not Mario, all the N64 games just had that wow, because I mean it was 3D. It was 3D,
Nintendo
and it was a whole
killed
new world.
that transition from 2D to 3D. Like most of their games hit, taking it from one dimension to the next.
Yeah. I had the Movie Palace tanning bed combo duo. I mentioned this in our top 5 Zeldas, but I had Mario 64 in my hand, ready to rent it, and I came across Ocarina of Time. My mom was like, "Well, you can't get both," and so I got Ocarina of Time instead, which I'm glad I did. I love Mario 64, but it saved me.
Yeah,
it was my lifeboat, so. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So you go next with your final pick.
With my number 5?
Yeah.
All right. This one's a controversial one, but it's Resident Evil 5.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I re-downloaded Resident Evil 5 today. Yeah.
On what?
Switch.
Okay. I don't think I have it on the Switch, but I might get it. We're gonna play co-op.
We should play co-op. Yeah. Co-op's great on it. I mean, it is you're coming off the hype of 4. 4 was perfect. And then 5 was good. I think it still looks really well. The graphics are good. And that intro mission, dude, or the beginning is so creepy.
Oh, where you're in that little town, you get locked in.
Yeah. Sheva, I want to kill her. Sorry. Not just the Roger, there's ammo over here. That really gets on the nerves. But no, it's a good game. It really is.
It's not the best Resident Evil game, but it's one of my all-time favorite co-op games, and I have played it so many times. I don't know that I've ever played RE5 alone. I have always played it co-op with somebody.
Yeah.
So that makes it into number 5 for me. There's a lot of other games that are probably technically better, graphically better.
Hey man, it's a game that you like, and that's all that matters. So
yeah, that one has a personal.
I re-downloaded it because I want to play the Lost in Nightmares DLC, which is I didn't know about this. I researched it, but it's the mansion, the original, and it's third person, and it's a side mission with Jill or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure people that have played it will be like, "Oh, it's like this, you idiot." But yeah, it's really cool. Look it up.
I don't know that I knew about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah. So, but I saw it and I was like, oh, I want to like re-download it and play that.
Yeah,
It's
well, I'm
like
gonna
an
have to check it
extras
out
thing.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I've been wanting to go back to the mansion in
hmm
slightly better graphics.
Well, maybe Capcom keeps pushing out these Resident Evil remakes. I mean, people really want Code Veronica, which, like, yeah, they should. But I don't know. I kind of, I really want to see new. Like, I mean, I really enjoyed 7, 8. I'm ready for Resident Evil 9. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like, let's see. All right. What do you think my fifth game is?
I want to
Curious.
live in a world where only Reploids exist.
Dude,
Is it a
I
Mega Man
actually
game?
it's not a Mega Man game
Really?
actually. Yeah, I and it's not Halo. It's not Halo or a Mega Man game. It's Smash Ultimate.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's not that
so
surprising, but I'm really surprised that
mhm.
either a Mega Man or
Or
Halo would make it into the
Castlevania or
top
a
five. Yeah.
Halo, yeah. So it's actually Smash Ultimate. I love everything about it. I mean, like I said, Sakurai and the work that he did. I mean, the fact that he freaking got Banjo Kazooie in
Yeah.
the game, and that's my favorite amiibo that I have. Honestly, it's a tie between. I mean, dude, Castlevania, like the Castlevania trailer where Death just like kills Luigi or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
It was it Luigi?
I think so. Yeah, because he's like in there like with his poltergust or
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're right.
And like I still have fan theories of like, okay, if they make another Smash game, who are they going to put in? And I'm like, I'm all for like Master Chief and stuff, but like they could put like, who did I think of the other day? Um, it was so cool. Professor Egad of like
Hmm.
Luigi's Mansion. Like
Yeah.
they could do him, or people really wanted Rayman or something like. I thought it would be really cool if they put Leon from Resident Evil
Oh
4 or
man.
Resident Evil 2 because those were Nintendo
Yeah.
and stuff like that'd be cool. That should be another episode. Our Smash theories if they make another Smash game, but it's just so fun. Every week, me and my brother hop on. I play online with a couple friends. It's just so cool, and I mean, it's every map, every character,
Yeah.
every.
And what comes after Ultimate for them to make another Smash Brothers?
I mean,
Smash Brothers Infinite?
so there's been some theories that like, and these are just very, very small theories. Us Nintendo fanboys have, where when the Switch 2 launches, they're going to do like gold editions or ultimate
Mm,
editions of those games. So maybe they'll just like port Smash Ultimate, but then add like
couple new
a
characters every
couple new
time.
characters. Same with Mario Kart 8. But I mean, it's Nintendo. They're going to do something that's going to blow our minds. Like I thought it would be cool if maybe they did a new take on Smash and made it more like arcade style, like Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct, where it's more like 101.
Yeah.
But I also had kind of something that I really liked about like Soul Calibur 2 with Link was the customization. So maybe like instead of just being able to change the color, what if they were like you could use the Big Goron sword? Like what if you could actually change weapons and items that characters use? So character customization
Mm,
in it. That would be
yeah.
kind of cool as well. But I mean, Smash is just. I like every game. I like the original. Obviously, I grew up in the Melee
Yeah.
era. I thought Brawl. I liked the story. I mean, it wasn't like great, but it was like fun.
Yeah. The
So
um the original. Do you remember the mini game, the stadium game where you had to hit
break the
the
targets.
no, you had to hit
Or
hit the sack as far as you could.
yes, yeah, the home run contest.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that one.
yeah.
I remember as a kid spending like whole days with Yoshi and that
hmm
bat trying to get it
Yes.
just perfect where you do
I use
the
Samus, and
do you?
yeah, because I do that in Ultimate. I play home run contests still. I do miss break the targets. Break the targets was fun.
Yeah.
And then like the N64 also had I don't know if Melee had it. I can't remember the platforms where you had to jump on the platforms. You remember that?
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, man, so fun, so fun. But
That's a
that's
good
my
one.
fifth pick.
That's your list.
Yeah, so let's jump into some honorable mentions. Okay,
Yeah.
so go for it.
Let me think. Honorable mentions. Well, it should have been in the top 5, but I was trying to be a little bit more diverse. But Ocarina of Time, I'm just gonna put that
Okay,
as an honorable mention, just to let
yeah,
everybody know I love it. They should know that I love it. Everybody loves it.
yeah.
But no, for an actual honorable mention, I'm gonna say Divinity Original Sin 2. We've talked about
Mm,
this before, but that was
hmm.
like the first full, I don't know, like that Diablo-esque game that I really fell in love with. Like I liked the Diablo games and a couple of the others like that. But yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2, that's another one of those co-op games that like
Hmm.
a lot of my best gaming experiences have been playing with other people, like I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 5 co-op,
Hmm.
Divinity Original Sin co-op, Ocarina of Time, played that with my dad, Link to the Past, played that with my dad and sister.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4, I did play that one by myself. Stardew, played that one with my wife.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, I have a thing about couch co-op. Occasionally online's fine, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shared memories, I think, are a huge part for me when it comes to ranking games.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Are those
Yeah.
your only honorable mentions?
Oh no, I was gonna switch over to you and let you go.
Okay. Sorry. I was shocked. I was like, oh my god, you're gonna have to play more games. I have to pump them in you. No, I'm kidding. My first honorable mention would be Okami. Have you ever played that game? It's a
I never
Capcom
did. I
game.
remember they made an HD version of it, and I had
Yes.
heard good things. It plays a lot with like light and shadow, right?
Yeah, light and shadow. You use a celestial brush. You draw.
Mm-hmm.
Use it as like a weapon. It's just like Zelda. Another wonderful
Was that on the
jet.
Wii?
It was originally on PS2, then they brought it to the Wii, and they
Okay.
also had Okami Den, which was like a prequel or a sequel on the DS. Um, yes, phenomenal game. Love it, love it, love it. I remember when I first started dating my girlfriend, which is my wife now. People, I saw that comment. Uh, we don't talk about my other wife, so no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Uh, I was looking. It was so funny. I was like, I want a game like Zelda on the Wii, and I walk into GameStop, and the only like Wii game that they had, because the Wii was like selling like crazy, was Okami, and it was like IGN gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I was like, oh my god, the art style looks so cool, and it was just like early in me and my girlfriend's relationship at the time, and that was the game that I played when we started dating. And
Nice.
actually, Resident Evil 4 and that game, I had beat Resident Evil 4 for the first time when we first started dating. And yeah, you need to check it out. It goes on sale all the time. I think it's like $20,
Okay.
the HD version, but it's like 8. Like Capcom does their publisher sale or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
always on sale.
One of the girls in my friend group in school
Hmm.
absolutely loved that game.
Yeah. And it's
And
kind of like Banjo Kazooie, like when they talk, it's like meow, beep, 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 like the
yeah,
voicing and stuff. It's so funny. Yeah.
she was like super odd, so I think that's what put me off of it for a long time. I was like,
Well,
I mean, if you really like it, then I kind of don't want to play it.
dang.
But I'll try it. I'll try it
This will be
because you
another
like it.
vote. Does Josh of Anxious Gamers need to play Okami?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I plan to play that one because I mean, obviously they wouldn't have made an HD version of it if it wasn't great.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I just
it's
had kind of odd associations with that game.
yeah. I mean, I get you. That's the whole like mental health kind of thing where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this person I don't likes this series. I ain't ever touching it.
Yeah.
Like
It wasn't so much I didn't like her. I was just like, you have
oh,
weird
you made it
taste in
clear you
things.
didn't like.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
If you're listening, I did not like you.
All right, give me another game.
All right. Next honorable mention. I'm gonna say Subnautica.
Dude, so many of my students have learned music from that song or from that game, and they're like,
It
I
has a
gotta
lot of
play
really
this
good
game.
music.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I went into Subnautica blind. Had no idea. Epic was giving it away for free. Had never read reviews on it. Had no idea what I was doing. All I knew is it was like you crash land in the ocean kind of thing. And so playing through that, this sense of discovery that they built into that game, I haven't actually. Elden Ring came a little bit close to it as far as like
Ooh,
discovering things
okay.
goes. But just the mystery of it all, the alien species, like the base building, there were no guns.
Hmm.
Like you had a knife, but that was about it. And you could stun things, but like it wasn't a violent game. It had some story.
So speaking of that, and we'll have to fact check this. One of my students told me the reason why there wasn't a gun it was because of the shootings or the all the shootings taking place, and they didn't want to incorporate that into it or
That may
something
be
like
true. I
that.
vaguely remember watching or reading something about
Hmm.
the development of Subnautica.
Yeah,
Um,
which we have nothing against guns, but we do believe in gun safety,
yeah.
and you know, if you are unstable, you do not need a gun. So,
Well, yeah. So Subnautica has a special place in my heart because it blew me away just going in blind.
mhm.
And then the first time finding like the alien civilization, like the
Yeah,
pyramid thing, and I was like, "What is this?"
yeah.
I was like scared to death. I didn't know if there was like something living in that. Um, Anyways, if you haven't played it, you'll understand what I'm talking about if and when you get there. But
All right.
I may have just ruined it a little bit.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm
Yeah,
fine. I'm
it's
fine.
been out for like 8 years, so if you haven't played it by now, then it's not
Uh,
totally my fault.
I'm gonna give you two games real quick.
Okay,
So this one, because all right. So this is my second honorable mention, Skyrim.
that's a
I
good one.
I never touched it, never played it, never had any interest in it. Played Breath of the Wild, wanted another open world game, so I got Skyrim after my brother-in-law finally convinced me to get it.
Yeah.
Loved every second of it. I still boot it up once a year, play through it. I like the Switch version because you can get like the Champion's Tunic and the Master
Yeah.
Sword and stuff, so some amiibo drops. Um, but yeah, that's my second.
I really wish you could do VR, and I may just have
Mm.
to like throw you in it for just a few seconds just to see because the scale of everything around you playing it on a 2D screen, it doesn't do it justice. Like
Okay.
when a Draugr is coming after you and you turn around and those big spiders,
Mm-hmm.
just the scale of everything, or standing in the middle of one of the cities or the towns or something. Like even if you're not moving around too much, just putting it on and just like taking a quick look around, it's so cool to see it
Okay.
like full scale.
I might risk a panic attack for that. Just like 30
Worth it.
seconds. It's worth it.
Now, panic attacks is when because the controls are terrible on the PSVR.
Mm,
Because there's no joysticks on.
gosh. Yeah.
Well, there's no joysticks on the PlayStation Move controllers.
Wow.
So like you have to do this weird thing where you hold a trigger and like turn the controller
Oh God.
physically, and then like you rotate, and then you hold down the controller or the other trigger to move forward or backward or something. The controls are terrible. So like when you can hear a Draugr or something behind you, there's
Mhm.
nothing worse. It's so scary.
My other game is Mega Man Legends 2. I've talked about this multiple times. Basically, a JRPG version of Mega Man that
Yeah.
plays like Zelda. They were Mega Man Legends 1 was on PS1, and it was also called Mega Man 64 on the N64. And then Legends 2 came out. Legends 3 was in development for 3DS, and it got scrapped, and I bought a 3DS specifically for that game. But
Good luck.
very, very special memory of that game is I went out on a bro date with my dad and my uncle, and we went to the first game exchange that was built in Tyler, Texas. And that was the game that I bought there. And it was just a really
Nice.
special moment. And the first level that you play, or like the first town you go to, is this like wintry, icy area with beautiful music. You can actually find those guitar covers on my channel. And it was winter when I got that game, and it was starting to snow and sleet a little bit when I got to that area. as a kid. So it was like magical, you know, it was like really,
Yeah.
really cool. So, yeah. I got two more honorable mentions here. Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. It was the second 3D Castlevania game. Originally, it was Castlevania 64 on the N64, which a
Nice.
lot of people didn't care for. I love
Yeah.
all the Castlevania games, but Legacy of Darkness was really cool. Added new gameplay mechanics, new characters, and it took the expansion pack on the N64, and you could actually change the resolution in the game. You could go low or high.
Ooh.
So it kind of had some modding a little bit. And
Yeah.
then my last honorable mention is Darksiders 2. Love those games. It's the Tale of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
and
those ones are
Darksiders.
good ones.
Yeah, you get to play Death. It's like an open world RPG. It's so cool.
I haven't thought about Darksiders in a long time. I think I have 1 and 2 on Steam. And I think I have the War.
Oh yeah, it's
Whatever
like
I think it was
edition,
yeah, like the War Master edition or something like that.
Yes, that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna have to check those out again. I forgot about those.
Super fun. Good games. Well, that wraps up this episode. Be sure to tune in every Thursday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And remember, it's dangerous to go alone.